Here we go.
Oh,
Here we are. I don't know why it's like this. I
that's
bet you they don't have enough female developers sorting this stuff out.
but it was finally. I learned something.
There we go. It's so good to see you. How are you?
I- I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Are you in the UK at the
I
moment?
am, and sun has come out in London, so we are all very happy.
There we go. All right, lovely. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I have given a brief intro, but no one says it as well as you do. Tell our listeners about your business because, of course, it's such a great element for Sheer Bliss. This is exactly what we're all about. So it's so great to have you here, Ishani. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nadine, for having me. What you are doing out there is wonderful work. We all need well-being. Me as an entrepreneur, I think I need to spend more time on it. So
Don't
I
worry, we're
absolutely.
coming your way.
So what we do at Serene, I used to be a mathematician in my last life. I faced a lot of biases, a lot of discrimination in the universities that I worked in different parts of the world, in US, in UK, and then in India. And I was thinking that there are too few women in STEM, and it's not that they don't want to be scientists, it's that the society or the culture or the workplace culture doesn't really allow them to thrive. So, having faced those biases myself and seeing how people are discriminated against or face sexual harassment, I decided to start my company, Serene. We work on inclusion and equity for everyone. It's not just women who face biases, but it's
Yeah.
people who are language, religion, class. All of people face biases. Hence, we take a little bit of a science-driven approach to making the workplace a little bit more equitable for all.
I think what stands out for me is a conversation that we had in person where we were talking about the sort of things that happen at workplace events where women have got their guard down and they're having a few drinks and things happen. And that really stuck with me because, you think that you trust people that you work with, but we always have to be on high alert. And I'm loving what you're saying now about everybody facing biases in different ways. I think that it's something that the world is facing right now all the time. So what do we do to combat these things and how do we raise awareness to figure out if this is happening in our workplace and how to deal with that?
Oh, yeah, this is an excellent question. And the example you gave, Nadine, is that we are always on our guard. A lot of sexual assault, gender-based violence happen, and we kind of normalize it. Yesterday I heard a story of a woman who was sexually harassed in a public transport in London, and she spoke out loud, but most people got so uncomfortable, they kind of looked out of the window and pretended that it wasn't happening. And that made me
Wow.
sad. Yeah, that made me sad that, we are not really standing up for people when they are uncomfortable. So I think first and foremost, I would say that yes, awareness is great. Policies are really good. People should know that they have rights to speak up when they feel uncomfortable, when anything has happened to them, but also speak up for people. So you see something happen, take their side however you feel comfortable, even separate people out from uncomfortable position, or you kind of go in and talk to them or talk to them separately. As a bystander, intervening sometimes works wonderfully. And also I would say, he speaks up in the workplace and says that this wasn't okay, listen to them, take action, don't just let it go. Right.
And I think that company policies are something that it's like written down somewhere, but do staff really know about it? And it's something that came to mind preparing for this call today was, have I shared my company policies with my entire team? Do they actually know what the process looks like and who they can talk to if there's something going on? Because otherwise it's just a document saved in your cloud somewhere and no one knows about it.
Yes, I think you make an excellent point. Most of the time it's a document, and most of the time they don't know who to speak to. They
Yeah.
always think I have to management, and management in their mind is somebody big and unapproachable. They're
Yeah.
sitting out there, some know who they are. So if you actually talk about it more often, if you find a person within the company who is not management, who is a member of the workforce itself and a
Mm,
mature person, so form a committee who can listen to their grievances, that works
mm-hmm,
beautiful. People
mm.
will come and say, something has happened, can you do something or teach me how I can deal with it? Even that goes a long way.
Because I think people are also scared to speak out because if they do, what are the consequences to them? They're scared they're going to make waves. If it is someone in management who's doing these things, like I suppose people are fearful of their jobs as well and what might happen to them if they do speak out.
Yeah, traditionally, that's exactly what happened. There are still so many stories of, people have spoken up and their voices have been drowned, and either they have lost their jobs or, subtle gossip starts against them. It's even worse for them to kind of thrive in the company when people are talking about you, or like you said, like
Yeah,
your job can be hampered. So I think it starts from the top. If upper management make it very, very clear, it's zero tolerance. No matter what
mm,
happens, A, we'll take care of you, we will listen to you and give you the redressal that you deserve. And B, there will be action that will be taken so it doesn't happen again. That kind of assurance. People are always looking for what is happening, right? If they see that the right thing was done in a confidential way, in a way that there was no gossip that started.
yeah,
People came back to work. There was wellness in the work. There was in a positive manner it was done. People will feel more empowered to speak to you. So it kind of always
yeah.
starts in the
And I mean, there's such a focus on this now because it's International Women's Month, but I know that when you hosted your event last month, it was like, let's make this all the time. This
yeah.
is not something that should just be happening during March. It should become a lifestyle and a way of company culture as your business really reiterates. So where do you normally start with that? I mean, when you bring a company on board, do you do an assessment of what they have in place and then make changes from there? What does your process look like?
Yeah, so absolutely. We'd love to do an assessment and then the interventions and the conversations, A, with leadership, then with managers, then with individual contributors, and do an assessment afterwards also to learn that, how did these conversations go? Did people actually were open to it, or did they feel that they did not feel psychologically safe enough to speak up? So what exactly happened and what can you change about it? So we love to do these assessments and the interventions together. But to be very honest, not everyone's ready for that.
Hmm.
Sometimes a lot of smaller companies come your way and say that we don't have budget for so much.
Mm,
And that's okay.
mm,
Absolutely okay to say time and this current climate to say that I want to go small, I want to just start with something. So
mm.
we say that start with a simple conversation about respect in the workplace.
Right.
How do you talk to that you feel that you're respected? Start with that.
Mm,
You will see
yes.
people coming up that I loved it.
I mean, even within our team, because of course I've been reflecting on this, and I thought to myself, like, I don't know how diverse we are because we're really all female. Our whole team is female, like, we're all ladies. But even within that, we've got different cultures, different religions, people from different countries.
Yeah.
And it's something that we've really had to stay on top of and make sure that there's no xenophobic behavior going on. People,
Yeah.
as you say, are treating each other respectfully and fairly, and that everybody in the workplace has fair opportunities, so that if there is room for growth, that is across the board for everybody. And it's a tricky thing to stay on top of. I think that it's something that we have an awareness around the whole time, but I know for myself as the business owner, I definitely don't know everything going on behind the scenes. And unless somebody brings it to our attention, and as you say, I think that the biggest trick is dealing with that in a confidential way. You don't have to make it public. You have to approach those people, have a conversation with them, explain that this is not acceptable. We do not tolerate this kind of behavior, and then maintain that and set that same example as management.
Right, absolutely. I think even just a small thing that you spoke about this today, people will find it that, there is commitment towards this.
Mm-hmm.
And if you speak to Nadine, she will understand because she's already thinking about these things. I think this
Right.
every conversation makes a difference.
So what are like, if we were to say like top three things, simple things that businesses can implement to make sure that they're observing diversity and inclusion, what does that look like?
I think first is equity. You should always make sure, like you said, when there is an opportunity, irrespective of who that person is, where they come from, whether you know them for a long time or not, whether you know their family, don't be biased by any of that. Give the opportunity to the person whose skill set matches it and who will actually do well for the business. So that equity is the first and foremost thing.
Mm.
Second thing, the small of things you can do is whenever somebody is feeling uncomfortable or you feel that they are going through something, there's some anxiety, there's stress, there's something that is happening, make sure you're there for them. You don't have to spend a lot of this. Maybe sometimes they just want a conversation to say that I'm facing this and is there somewhere you can help me? That's also enough. And second, and the last and the biggest thing, that is make the workplace psychologically safe, where people really feel like they can come and talk to you. Have a little bit of an open door policy that they feel like you're approachable. And that really goes the longest way. I work with very bigger CEOs as well, but those who are grounded, those who are
Mm.
humble, approachable, they keep people the longest. The
Mm.
team kind of together to help each other out as opposed to a lot of attrition.
And I mean, how do you look? I don't know. I think that people can be excluded even in remote working situations. So how do you do that? I mean, like, are there any tricks? Like, as you're speaking, I'm thinking like an anonymous text line, or just even like an anonymous Google form that's got nothing on it, but it just raises something that's on somebody's mind,
Yeah,
even if it's not necessarily personal, just a feeling that they have of the company or something like that, and then how to deal with that.
true.
Do people do that? Do they send in like sort of anonymous tips?
So anonymous tips are good to get like a pulse of a company, how the culture is, but on the basis of an anonymous tip, you cannot take action.
Yeah.
You
Then you know
laws,
about it, and then what?
it's not us versus them. It's about a
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
I always feel create a culture where people are likely to come up and speak to you openly. You don't have to have the anonymous part. They can
Yeah.
just tell you that this, so you can take action, because anonymous means you just stop there. You can't really do
Yeah.
much. You just can't.
Yeah, yeah, I hear that. Okay, so what I'm really hearing from you is creating an inclusive culture in your company where people feel comfortable sharing, being able to talk openly without feeling fear of further discrimination or their jobs being threatened or them being treated differently in the future. That if something does happen, it can be dealt with in a confidential, conservative way that doesn't have to be blown out of proportion, but needs to be recognized and validated for what it really is. I mean,
Right,
it
exactly.
sounds so simple, right? It sounds like we can do this, but people get emotional, I suppose, and that's what makes it really difficult.
Difficult. But it is not that hard either. I have worked with a lot of bigger companies as well who have good culture, and it's just about like putting in the time and the resources and keeping that in mind. It
Mm,
doesn't take that much. It's just about the intention, saying that, we will do it, how much, a little bit extra time it would take, but we'll do it. And in the long run, people will stay with me longer as opposed to like keep jumping jobs. So if you see that as a business motivator, that you will actually end of the day save money, people are likely to do that. And I see a lot of bigger companies doing it as well. There are companies, even how whatever the backlash is right now in the US, there are companies in Europe and Africa and Asia who are saying that I don't care about that. I
yeah.
care about my employees, what I need to do.
Yes, exactly. And not just sort of following the flow of whatever else is going on, and maintaining your own company culture is really critical. There's so much going on in the world right now, but we move. We
We,
keep moving. We keep
yeah,
doing what we're doing, and I think that
yeah,
human beings, I would love to believe that human beings just have good intentions, that we're all hopefully on this path to goodness and to being better people and better employees and better employers as well.
Yeah.
So absolutely amazing, Ishani. And so what would be the best way for our listeners and our followers to get in touch with you if they have questions, if they would like to implement this kind of culture in their workplace? How should they reach you?
Thank you. You can always check out our website. It is www.serien.in. Write to me an email. I'm ishani@serien.in, or contact over Instagram. You have my ID over here already. So yeah, with any form.
I'll pop all of that in the comments. Yeah. I'll pop it all in the comments. And absolutely fantastic having you here today. Thank you so much again for your time. And I hope to see you in person very soon.
I'll see you soon in London, and hopefully we'll get to work together here as well.
Looking forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Cheers.